Hey folks, welcome to the Triple T Thursday. For those just joining us, that's tools, tips, and talk, where we'll discuss info for the knife maker. In today's episode, we're going to finish our liner lock folder series. So stay tuned, see how it ends. So from last week, we pretty much finished off the knife. A couple of things we need to do this episode. We need to just harden the end of the lock here, at least as much as we can. So we're going to do that, and we're going to put the little bevels on the inside of the liners here. If I show you on this one, you'll see what I mean. Just these little things that make it easier to get these so they're not so sharp. So we're going to do those two things, and then we're going to bevel all of the edges just to make it look nice, do final sanding, and we should pretty much be done. Okay, it's time to harden this part of the lock bar right here. And the way I'm going to do that is I just take these pliers just to spread it out a little bit. Okay, kind of as much as you can. And then I'm just going to heat this part with a torch. First, I'm just going to heat it up and cool it a couple of times, and then I'm actually going to quench it in water. It does not take long to heat this up. And now the last time, I'm going to do it in water. And that's all there is to it. So the next thing we're going to do is the cutouts on the insides of the liners. So the most important thing here is to make sure you do it on the right side. So what I'm going to do is mark them. I'm just going to use some black marker. So here and here. And of course you want them to match, so I'm just going to put them together, and I'll use some layout fluid. Actually, I'll just use this marker, and I'll just mark on the top with a scribe. Alright, so that's where I'm going to be grinding. So I've got my tilting rest set up so that I can just come in and do this. I know many of you are going to ask me what angle this is at. It's probably around 55 or 60 degrees. Now I'm going to put the knife together with, instead of the blade, I'm going to use this little spacer. This is something I just keep around so that when I want to do the beveling on the edges, the blade doesn't get in the way. So we're just going to put it together with that. Now I think I'll just go around it one more time just to do the perimeter, the profile, and then we'll start our bevels. And you can actually do, a lot of people would round these. I just like the bevels. I think they look cool. But certainly you can do like a domed finish, which is very popular. I just want to mention our sponsor, Maritime Knife Supply. If you need anything knife related, steel, abrasives, handle material, tools, equipment, you name it, they got it all. Go check them out. So there are all the bevels all done. Looks pretty cool. Of course, I'll be sanding these to make them look really nice, take all this rough finish off of here, but we're going to do that very last. Next, we're going to look at the putting in a clip, and we're going to be putting this on the lock side right here. Okay, so that when you slide it in your pocket, you can pick it up, assuming you're picking it up with your left hand, you'll flick it out and it'll be perfect. So that's where we're going to put it. And you can put it on either side. So I'm actually going to reuse this hole, and I'm just going to drill one more hole through the scale and then through the liner and tap it. So it's going to be right about there. So I've got all the pieces done, everything's sanded, everything's been cleaned. I have changed out the washers for these Nylotron washers. You'll notice they have a little cut in them. That's just because the where the stop pin is, it's a little too close. These are really wide washers, so I just usually clip a little piece out of it and it will fit just fine, and that doesn't affect anything. Now I'm going to put it together and we'll talk about troubleshooting fit up. So here's the finished knife. Let's talk about fit up. So there's 3 factors here that will affect your fit up. The first thing you should be looking for is that it's very solid. Okay, when it's open, okay, it's not moving. It's got a good detent, so it's not going to come out. And then that it's centered. Okay, when it's closed, it's centered right here. You can see this one's a little bit off. It's not touching this side, but it's kind of close. So there's 3 factors really you can, well, yeah, I guess 3. How tight you have the pivot head. Because the tighter the pivot head, the more it will draw this in, because this is pushing it against the washers. But that will make it harder to open. So that's a trade-off. The other thing you can do is loosen the tension on the spring, because the reason it's pushed over like this is because the lock bar is pushing against it, okay, and the detent. So if the detent ball is sticking out too much, it's also going to push this over, okay, because the detent ball should be sitting in the hole right now. But so playing with those 3 factors, you can loosen your spring a little bit, but still make sure that it engages when and it's got a good lock and there's no play in it. But this one's pretty good. I'd like it to be a little more centered, so I'll work on that. But for now, I'm going to call it done. Thanks for joining me on this series, folks. I appreciate you following along. We'll see you on the next one.